Lopez, the new 5 in play. Edwards, McDaniels, Julius. The Clippers defeating Sacramento. A little stack pick and roll for Kawhi Leonard. Here he is getting the handoff, working against Gobert, and a little bit strong on the jumper.
Well, we certainly know that Kawhi's usage rate is going to go up. They're going to play through him, and whether he's an initiator or getting the ball off of action, Minnesota's going to have a high attention to detail where he is.
Gobert fighting for position, now sprints into the ball screen. Edwards with the contested 3 off the mark. Got a whistle underneath and a foul, because we talked about it, you and I, how sometimes you paid the defensive tax as Edwards knocks down the game's first jump shot by giving your big man a touch.
Get a few more touches.
Feed him a little bit.
Well, I'm intrigued to see, in this matchup with Brook Lopez, the ability of Rudy Gobert to still rim protect while Lopez stretches the floor from the three-point line.
Have sent free throw shooter. He is just a hair under the...
Absent so much with the injuries, but when he is on the floor, he is a dominant presence.
Little full court pressure by Dunn on Edwards. Edwards will bring it across. Here's DiVincenzo. And great anticipation by Leonard. Took it away from McDaniels. Here's Collins, has a mismatch against DiVincenzo. Trying to walk him down and scores it on the jump hook.
And John Collins has been such a great addition. This is a guy who tried to find his way early, and he's been in a groove recently. Ty Lue talked about it. We want him to stretch the floor. We don't want him to hang out in the dunker. He's found some confidence from the three-point line.
Pocket pass to Gobert, couldn't make the catch on a good pass by Edwards.
And the challenge for both of these teams is playing without a true point guard. So which team can take care of the ball? Which team can get one another into offense?
Collins has been lacing threes over the last couple of weeks. Knocks down that corner 3.
And the different way that this LA Clippers team will be playing, another steal by Kawhi Leonard. Without James Harden on the floor, who is a ball-dominant guy, you're going to see the thing moving around a little bit more. Multiple guys getting touches.
Looks a little bit differently for them offensively. Dunn drives it on Gobert, who stayed down on the ball fake. Shot clock under 10. Dunn drives it on Edwards, kicks it to Lopez. Put Gobert on a flight, but couldn't cash out. Here's Randle in transition. Puts his head down, got packed on the glass by Jones. Clippers defense really good so far early, and Chris Finch's worst night. Leonard, who will be going to Los Angeles to play in the All-Star game. Here's Edwards out of the timeout. Off the dribble 3 comes off and rebounded by Jones. Anthony Edwards, by the way, shooting a little over 40% from three-point territory on the season. Here's Leonard with the 3 at the other end, and rebounded by DiVincenzo. Minnesota with just 1 field goal so far in the game. Back to Randle, driving it on the shorter Dunn, steps through. Edwards with the easy lay.
You take care of the ball, you get a couple of ball reversals, give yourself a chance to break down the defense, get him in rotation, and you get some easy looks.
He has all 4 of their points so far. Dunn out top against DiVincenzo. Knocked it out of Lopez's hands. Gobert with some room service. Gobert on the board. This Minnesota Timberwolves defense is still top 10, but not quite as strident as it was a season ago. Here's Collins. Leonard on the show and go. Good defense by Randle, and they force the turnover.
He just wasn't happy with the sloppy transition defense. Their on-ball point of attack on the defensive end.
Good screen by Gobert to free up Edwards. That jumper a little bit short. Derrick Jones the other way. McDaniels with a steal. Jaden McDaniels takes it in for the layup. And that is a snapshot, Stephanie, of the value he brings to this Minnesota team at both ends of the court. 6'9" with a 7'1" wingspan.
And you're going to see him getting multiple looks on the defensive end of the floor, but this is the response you want. If you're Chris Finch coming out of that timeout, weren't happy with the effort early, started on the defensive end, that allows you to get out in transition and get some easy ones.
Edwards around the Gobert screen, puts his head down, and he draws the foul. Anthony Edwards under 80% from the free throw line. Young star and coach for the Timberwolves talked about him not playing in fourth and fifth gear as much as maybe second and third, and changing speeds a little bit more.
And oftentimes when you have explosive players, they're used to playing at such a fast pace that learning how to gear down, learning how to decel, learning how to have the game slow down for you is important.
Whatever he's doing is working for him. Leonard inside, tipped it up and in over McDaniel. Two of those guys worked out together this past summer. 7 points of the ball game for Leonard. DiVincenzo having problems on. Done with the screen for Leonard. McDaniel almost took it away. Leonard inside. Couldn't finish, tipped up. Here's Randall. Minnesota has numbers if they choose. 5 on 4. Randall all the way to the steal and couldn't convert. Knocked out of bounds. It'll stay Clippers basketball. Sent Mike Conley the other way. But there he is. And Stephanie, they talk about him giving some of what Nickeil Alexander-Walker gave them last year off the bench.
When you add a little bit more production off the bench, get a guy who can score the basketball, who can be a secondary playmaker.
Leonard straightaway three, and rebounded by Minnesota. Dosunmu tipped out of bounds, and that's going to be turnovers here early in the game. They've committed 5 already. This time Edwards guarding Leonard. Anthony Edwards not afraid to pick up the other team's #1 option. He can do it. Collins.
That's a lot of physicality right there by Julius Randle.
Man. And a foul going to go against Collins in the exchange. Soda up to a little over 22 points per game. Dosunmu out front. Naz Reid has checked into the game as well. 10 on the shot clock for McDaniels, and he loses the handle, committing their 6th turnover already. Here's Jones. Done on the baseline. Ball finds Leonard. 7 on the shot clock for Kawhi Leonard. With a cross, tween. Good defense by Naz Reid. Collins. And off the miss, it's Minnesota. Inside to Gobert against the mismatch with Jones. And he smoked the lefty layup. Had a great look at it. Leonard stare down three is pure.
And that's a tough one. When you get mismatch opportunities, you get easy opportunities at the rim, and you miss them. They often turn into threes at the other end.
Jaden McDaniels tied up, but fouled in the process. Edwards out top. Pivots away. And here comes Leonard. Edwards trying to guard Leonard. This is a great matchup, folks. Edwards stayed down on the fake. Kawhi scored it anyway. He's up to 12 already in the first quarter.
And mark his pace, his poise. He doesn't get rushed. He's still got an eye on, are they going to send a double? He's just able to get to his spots.
Naz Reid on the foray to the bucket. Naz Reid on the board.
Waves off and get our rhythm going.
Kawhi started this game with 3 straight steals. What is the difference when he's on the floor?
It's night and day. I mean, he's an all-time great, one of the best we've ever seen in the game, and obviously the defense is where he's made a name, and he still's got it. It helps a big time.
Thanks, John.
No problem. Thank you.
Interesting, Stephanie. You're a coach. What do you do with your team for these early starts? Boy, good block.
I mean, the Clippers, one of the hottest teams in the league, certainly. But now you've made some changes. You got to try to find your way on the offensive end. It's just locking into details, taking care of basketball.
Well, one guy who's locked in is Kawhi Leonard. Comes back into the ball game with 12 points. DiVincenzo, nobody has more catch-and-shoot threes in the NBA than he does. That time off the mark. 4-point lead for Los Angeles. Leonard against McDaniels. Good help by DiVincenzo. Christie And here comes Bones. Highland pops clutch, got to the cup, and finished. Wow, a burst of speed by Bones Highland.
And he has that energy. He gives him that spark coming off the bench. He is a scoring point guard. He's a guy who can get to the rim.
Foul on the play. NBA, including Oklahoma City, San Antonio. But at the same time.
So what it takes on the defensive end of the floor, they are elite on the offensive end. There's no doubt about it. But that only gets you so far.
Fourth highest scoring team in the NBA going into action this afternoon. Highland brings it across against Christie. Pocket pass to Randall. And he draws the foul against Cam working after the loss against New Orleans a couple of nights ago. Went to the practice gym and made 150 threes just to feel good before he went home. Here's Christie. And that's going to be an offensive foul on Niederhauser. Highland out top. Christie moving his feet well. Good screen by Randall. Highland using that hostage dribble inside. DiVincenzo with a great cut on the baseline. DiVincenzo goes 1 for 2 out to Highland. An unrepentant shooter. Bones knocks down another one. 8 points in the ball game for Highland. Finally getting an opportunity here in Minnesota. And that's going to be a foul against DiVincenzo as
he's going to get opportunity.
Of course, he's got a couple of every morning to practice or whenever requested. If you're ever been out in the Los Angeles area, you know all about Randy's Donuts. You ever had them?
I've never had them.
Oh,
no.
Oh, you're missing out. I'll bring you some if we do an LA game together. 5 points in the ball game for Niederhauser after the free throw. Reed, Randall still looking for his first field goal. Not anymore.
Well, he can heat up in a hurry. I mean, Julius Randle is a guy that it doesn't matter if he's quiet in the first half. You know that he's explosive opportunity on the offensive end.
Leonard out top against McDaniels. Off to the wing. Pulls the three. Got it. Kawhi Leonard up to 16 now in the ball game. Reed working against Batum. Got it to go with the left. And quickly back the other way, Leonard elevates, went to punch it, but missed it. Highland on the break. Takes it in with the left, missed it, and Randall there to have his back. Timeout Clippers and Ty Lue. Game as well. Ball kicked out of bounds, it'll stay. Clippers Lions work on getting to his kill spots. They've got several on the floor. Leonard has a few too, got the layup at the rim. And right now, Minnesota's lead down to 1. Kawhi cooking with 18. DiVincenzo lost it, then got it back. 10 on the shot clock. Randall for 3. That one comes off. It'll stay at this end. Minnesota basketball. Used to the offensive system, is scoring up 4 points per game. DiVincenzo off the screen and rebounded by Dunn. Chance for the Clippers to take the lead here. Dunn touches the paint. Great ball fake and knocked it down.
And an effort coming out of the timeout by the Clippers to get into the paint. Coming out of that break, it was 24-10 advantage for Minnesota. The Clippers back-to-back buckets.
And Dosunmu has been shooting the 3-ball much better this season, a career high 45% from deep. Collins been on a heater too, and he knocks down another one. John Collins with 8 in the ball game. You remember John Collins' improved three-point shooting started when he was back in Atlanta, when Kyle Korver took him aside and showed him a few pointers. Niederhauser inside, draws the foul. And he'll go to the line for a pair. It's McDaniels. Clippers to a man. Steph moving on.
It is part of it, and you know when you get to that time and the trade deadline, and there's all of the rumors going around. I mean, it is tough for teams to deal with that, for players to deal with that, even though you know it's part of the business, because it's so much more than just playing the game. It's community, right? It's teammates, and you can see that.
DeSoon move from deep. Gobert. Whistle. Tough start to this game for Rudy Gobert, who's missed a couple of easy ones inside. Leonard on the lob over McDaniels. Kawhi Leonard up to 20.
And what a great feed by Chris Dunn. Kawhi Leonard does such a good job of taking his defender up the line.
Randall pivot, sprays it out to Edwards. He got called for 3 seconds. 4. With over halfway to go here in the first half. Got a little food here with Gobert on the wing. Rudy stayed down, got the stop. Loose ball.
You need that faster pace, guys, with youth and energy if you want to make a run to the playoffs. So we did some digging. Kawhi's day, just some interesting stats there and some interesting thoughts on what this LA team could look like with those young additions.
Yeah, the good news is, Alyssa, that, hey, Kawhi between Stephen.
He sure is, and he's got such a good feel for the game that when those young guys need to slow it down, he can say, whoa, like, let's slow down, let's execute, let's get a good shot.
Clippers up by 5, past the midway point of the second quarter. Clippers coming off a win a couple of nights ago against the Sacramento Kings. Leonard raising up. Line drive was no good. Collins. Island into the front court. Around the double screen. Inside Gobert, the roll man. DeSumo in the corner. Here's Reed. Done right in his chest defensively. Good defense by the Clippers. DeSumo. Gobert with the offensive putback. And that snaps a 7-0 run by the Clippers. Leonard isolated. They emptied the side out. Now a little help comes
now you're
from
going to see it. Yeah, now you're going to see 2. But I don't think it can be soft.
Done from deep.
I don't think it can be soft because Kawhi Leonard's too good at reading that. He's going to bait you just like he did right there.
When you say soft, you got to come with a little more intense.
I think there's got to be a little bit more urgency, a little bit more intensity. You got to force him to get rid of it at a faster pace.
Lopez blocking that Gobert shot. Done on the drive. Leonard quickly between the legs and draws the foul on Naz Reid.
I think
Leonard back at the free throw line.
It's one thing to